All right, guys, and we are back. Welcome back to the Motor City Madness podcast. Not recorded in a while, but I'm gonna start getting back to recording because it's starting to become football season. Tigers already playing, so might as well hop back on here. Just talk about what's going on right now. And today's episode, I want to focus on specifically the NFL draft and the Detroit Lions as a whole. So, yeah, let's go. So, obviously, the Lions had their draft. And it was a shocker for most. The whole entire draft was a shocker. You had the Seahawks. They decided to take Devon Witherspoon. So unfortunately, that was off the board for us. And I believe we were targeting Devon because as soon as the Seahawks did that, we were on the phone and we traded down to number 12, and we gave that pick, number 6 pick, to the Cardinals. And out of that 12 pick, we got Alabama Crimson Tide running back Jahmyr Gibbs. So yeah, I think that's Brad Holmes was like, all right, well, we're not going to get Devon, and we don't like anybody else, so why not do that? And everybody's like, oh my God, Christian Gonzalez was available. Oh my God, Jalen Carter was available. They don't like him. I'm sorry, Brad Holmes does not like them. If he does not like the players, why would he get them? He just doesn't like them. So now I don't know what exactly is wrong with them, but that's that. So we got Jahmyr Gibbs with the 12th overall pick in the first round. Then we picked pick 18 in the first round, and we took Iowa Hawkeyes linebacker Jack Campbell, 6'5", 246. Definitely going to help with that linebacking core, as we already have Anzalone and Rodrigo, so he'll kind of be that third guy there, and we hope that he will be that guy after Anzalone leaves. Or if somebody goes down, unfortunately, due to injury, then he'll be able to step right in and fill that hole really nicely. And we actually went back-to-back Iowa Hawkeyes, because in the second round, the 34th overall pick, we took Iowa Hawkeyes tight end Sam Laporta. So 6'4", 249. Again, we like our Iowa tight ends. Obviously, we got Hawk, and we traded him. We didn't, he didn't produce what we thought he was going to out of a first rounder, but hopefully Sam Laporta will be able to fill into that role and produce. Obviously we have Brock Wright, so I think you got Brock Wright, Laporta, James Mitchell, so that's 3 tight ends right there. We'll see. I think Wright will remain tight end one for now, and then we'll see how Laporta transitions into the season. But expect Brock Wright to be that tight end 1 and Laporta to be following him on that 2 spot. Now, interestingly enough, we actually traded up to pick number 45 in the second round to take Alabama Crimson Tide DB Brian Branch. Now, people thought that we were going to take him in the first round. People were like, I won't be mad if we took him with the 18th overall pick. People were not happy with the Gibbs pick. Some people were happy with the Campbell pick and the Laporta pick. People were like, what are we doing here? I don't know what we're doing here. Me personally, I was like, I just got to see how it plays out. Let Brad Holmes cook. That's what I've been saying, this whole time. So I just let it play out. I'm like, I just need to see the full draft. So we took Brian Branch. I was like, that's a good pick. We need a DB. Obviously, we just lost Okuda. So we need that Brian Branch guy, and he'll be able to develop and learn under the likes of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jerry Jacobs, Sutton, Mosley, all those guys. He'll be able to just develop and learn. And that actually brings me to my next pick that I'm going to talk about. In round 3, we selected Hendon Hooker, Tennessee Volunteers QB. Now this is interesting because Hooker is 25 years old and he is just being drafted right now. So it's kind of iffy, but I mean it's a really low risk, high reward type situation. Because after Goff is gone, which could be in 2 years, because I believe he has 2 years left on his deal. After Goff is gone, if Hooker can step into that role, just kind of like how the Packers are doing with Jordan Love, but we hope Hooker is better than Jordan Love, because my God. But anyway, hopefully Hooker can be that QB1 after Goff, so we don't have to pay Goff like $50 million or like $30 million a year, because who wants to do that? And especially, again, Goff's a good quarterback. He can last you, but he's not going to be that like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert type money guy. We should not be paying him that much money. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be. That's not what we should be doing. I think we can, get a quarterback like that for a discount, and I think Hendon Hooker might be that type of guy. 6'4", 218, obviously coming off that torn ACL, but I expect him to be, he said he's going to be learning under Goff. He says he's going to, basically dissect Goff's brain and pick his brain and see, how he functions and how he does certain things, so he can be ready when his name is called. Now, the next pick This one's kind of a bit iffy because this pick was, I mean, this player was predicted to go in the 7th round. I'm talking about Broderick Martin, D tackle out of Western Kentucky. 6'5", 330. That's it's like an Ali McNeil type player. Levi Onwuzurike, he's gonna be that big D lineman that'll like Isaiah Buggs. I think him and Isaiah Buggs will be nicely paired together. He's gonna be that type of guy who he's gonna stuff the line. You know, you got Dalvin Cook, you got Aaron Jones, you got whoever running at you. He's gonna stuff the line. Obviously, you know, our run defense wasn't the greatest, so I think definitely adding more onto that will help us. Especially getting likes of Josh Paschal and Levi Onwuzurike back. That'll definitely help. And then going on to the 5th round, because we didn't have a pick in the 4th round. Into the 5th round, we took Colby Sorsdale, offensive lineman out of William and Mary Tribe, 6'6", 300. This pick is kind of like we need it because we have multiple offensive linemen that are coming up on the contract years. Jonah Jackson, you know, Big V. So, you know, we got 2 old linemen who are possibly going to be heading out soon. Penei Sewell, not there yet. I believe he has 1 more year this year, and then we can start getting into the contract negotiations with him, which I think we will because Penei Sewell is that guy. He is that guy. He's crazy. That's why he's a 1st round pick. Now, closing out the draft, we went and took Antoine Green. I think I'm saying his name right. In the 7th round out of North Carolina, UNC, baby. 6'3", 200 wide receiver. So that's our wide receiver. You know, that's the guy that we got. Obviously, some people wanted a wide receiver in the early rounds, like the likes of Quentin Johnston or Ronnie Bell or Jordan Addison, but we got our guy. I don't really think we needed one. Like, that was like our biggest need, but, you know, it's definitely now, I mean, you know, we're good. The Lions are looking good right now. Now, I just want to say I'm kind of shocked of how many people are distrusting Brad Holmes. After the first day, it was, what is Brad Holmes doing? He does not know what he's doing. He sucks. You know, like, well, why are you taking a running back in the 1st round? What are you even doing? Like, you're a terrible GM and all this stuff. But when you look back to last year, I mean, you know, like the same thing was being said. Like, what are you doing? Why are you waiting all this time to take a wide receiver? Or like, you know, like, what are you doing? And I think it's like you can't judge the draft as a whole. You have to give it a couple years because you can't just say Gibbs is a bust. You can't say Campbell is a bust. You can't say all these players are bust when they've never stepped a foot in the NFL. So, yeah. Again, I don't know what's going on. And then you know, day 2 and day 3 comes and everybody's like, oh my God, let Brad Holmes cook. Like, Brad Holmes has been cooking this whole time. I don't know what you've been eating, but you're not eating Brad Holmes cooking. So I don't know. But yeah, so, you know, I think the Lions had a really, really nice Friday. You know, Sam Laporta, he's going to be he's going to help as a pass catcher as a rookie. I don't think he's going to be blocking that much. Well, Brian Branch, he's a top-ranked safety. He can cover like a cornerback, and he's not afraid to tackle, so that's really going to help us with that. Now, Hendon Hooker, I'm just glad we didn't take him in the 1st round because that would have been bad. But I think taking him in the top of round 3 is perfect. You know, round 1 taking Hendon Hooker would not, I don't think that would have, you know, gone over well. But yeah, just looking at PFF and stuff, I mean, Brian Branch, you know, he's the best nickel prospect in the draft class, one of the best tackling defense. You know, he has a 2% missed tackle rate, so, you know. Then Antoine Green, he's big size at 6'2". Yeah, he's 18 and a half yards average. He's gonna be a good learner under Marvin Jones. I think Marvin Jones can, you know, develop him, hopefully. Same with Antoine Randall. And yeah, you know, we just hope these players can just get better. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously that pick was kind of a head scratcher before the Lions traded away DeAndre Swift to the Eagles. But I mean, at the same time, Swift, I'm gonna try to be a little bit nice here because I like Swift. I have a Swift mini helmet somewhere behind me. But anyway, I like Swift. He just got hurt a lot. You know, when you have a running back that gets hurt a lot, and you know you're constantly having to, you know, get reevaluate and keep bringing guys back in like Craig Reynolds, Justin Jackson, Godwin Igwebuike, all these guys. It's just like it's just a bit of a head scratcher. And you obviously have Jamal Williams like we did last year, and he's good, but he's not gonna just you can't just feed him the ball 30 or 40 times. He's not gonna be able to do the same thing like DeAndre Swift can. Swift's a good back, but he just got hurt a lot. And another thing about him is he just didn't run hard enough. Like he would literally just go down. Now there's this one play which I'm gonna give him credit for against the Commanders where he fell down, he caught the ball, he got back up, he made a couple moves, and he went into the end zone. That's a good play. But there have been many times where he's literally just there's been a wide open hole, and he just goes straight up the middle and just tackled for like a 1 or 2 yard gain or even a loss. But it's like, dude, there's a hole right there. Just go through the hole, and that's what Deuce Staley would tell him in Hard Knocks. He'd be like, dude, just find the hole. If you see a hole open, go through it. Burst through it. So it's like, I don't think I think he kind of needed to change the scenery. And apparently Swift was one who actually requested for a trade as soon as the Lions picked Gibbs in the first round. So yeah, obviously we filled the need in the secondary, Brian Branch, and in the tight end position. But yeah, so it's a bit of a it's I like it. I like it. People are a bit of people are like, what's going on here? Obviously, we picked Laporta over Michael Mayer and Luke Musgrave, but again, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, they like the guy. If they like the guy, I trust them. You have to trust Brad Holmes, because Brad Holmes has not made a single bad draft decision throughout his tenure in Detroit. Now, you could say possibly Levi Onwuzurike because he's barely played, but dude, he got a back injury in training camp. There's nothing Brad Holmes can do about that. He didn't like. What do you want him to do? And then yeah, you have all these guys. Obviously, you might not get like a stud in the 7th rounder, but that's okay. It's fine. We've got multiple good players in the 5th and 6th round, like Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's where you strive at. That's where Brad Holmes strives at. Obviously, the 1st round, it is what it is. Last year, obviously, we got JMO and Hutch, which those are two huge players to get. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's looking good for us. It really is. I don't really have that many critiques about the draft. I mean, if we would have got Devon Witherspoon, I think that would have made it a really complete draft. But at the end of the day, some things you just can't predict. Like the Lions, who maybe they saw this coming, maybe they didn't. Maybe they literally already had the trade lined up, and they said, "Hey, you know what, Cardinals? If the Seahawks take Witherspoon here, then we're gonna trade with you." And they're like, "All right, cool." And then the Seahawks take Witherspoon, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna make this trade," and boom, that's what happens. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you need to adjust. You can't just be like, "Oh my God, Witherspoon's gone. All right, let's take the next best player that's on everybody's mock draft. Let's take Jalen Carter." You can't do that. If the Lions, there's something about Jalen Carter that the Lions did not like. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said that they met with Carter, and it was an interesting conversation. They did not say if it was good. They did not say it was bad. They just said it was an interesting conversation, and they understood him a little bit more. Again, like, what does that tell us? It does not tell us anything about if it was a positive or negative encounter, but yeah, it's it is what it is. Obviously, the Eagles got Carter, so props to them. Maybe they liked Carter better. Maybe they had a better encounter with Jalen Carter, but I mean, Carter will not be a Lion, and multiple teams passed on him too. So it's not like he was just like only the Lions passed on him because they didn't need a quarterback and they just decided they didn't like him. So he went with the 9th overall pick. He was projected to go top 5. Obviously, that did not happen. And I think it's mostly because of the off the field issues. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I mean, Lions are looking pretty good. Obviously, we kind of got a little bit. I wouldn't say greedy, but we got a little bit like comfortable with taking Gibbs over likes of anybody else. Because when you first look at it, you're like, we're in the 1st round. We have Swift, Monty. Remember Monty? We still got Monty. Monty, we just signed with 3-year contracts. Swift, Monty, Craig Reynolds, believe we still have Justin Jackson, so we have 4 running backs, right? He might be on the practice squad though when the season actually comes around. And then you add Jahmyr Gibbs to the mix. You're like Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a good player. You know, I like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. He is he's a stud. He's a good player. Now people are really just hammering home on the fact that like he's not a good pass protector and his workload is concerned. They said he's an elite pass catcher, gets up to speed, changes directions quickly. Yes, his strengths: elite pass catcher, gets up to speed quickly, great top end speed, plays with good balance, shifty player. Weaknesses: below average mass for short yardage situations, does not have the mass to wear defensive down. But that's where Monty comes in, because that's what Monty will do. David Montgomery will wear the defensive down. Hutch literally said last season, he was like, dude, I cannot tackle this guy. We cannot get him down. Like I have him in my hands and he just slips through. Like he's swifty with it. So that's going to be really good for us. Have that combo with Gibbs and Monty. But yeah, so overall, again, I don't hate the draft class. Now, obviously, it can't be perfect. Can't have everything we want, unfortunately. Yeah, it's it is what it is. It really just is what it is. I still think that we did good. And then we also signed Mohamed Ibrahim, Minnesota running back, as an undrafted free agent, and he had 1,106 yards gained after contact last season. So that's gonna be crazy. So he might end up being in. You might be able to slide him in there as well. So yeah, but I mean, and then also we just look around the NFC North. The Vikings are still listening to trade offers for Dalvin Cook and Zadarius Smith. So those 2 players might be out as well. So when you look at that, it's like, oh my God, if the Vikings don't have Cook or Smith, I mean, they're literally down to Kirk Cousins, T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. They just acquired Jordan Addison. They just drafted him, so that's 4 okay players. Not 4 okay players, but that's 4 4 their top players. Addison, I'd say, because he's literally a rookie, so you don't know what to expect with some rookies. You don't know what you're getting out of some rookies until they actually step onto the field. But I guess 3 good players, good solid quality players from the Vikings. Then you look at the Bears side of things, and you're like, who do they got? They got Fields, Claypool, DJ Moore, Mooney, running backs. I can't name. Wait, I don't know if I can name one. They just traded Monty. They got rid of Monty. They did not resign him. So who's it? I don't remember. Wait, I don't remember. Oh, Herbert? Yeah, I remember Herbert. They got Herbert. I don't know his first name, but his last name's Herbert. I know they got Herbert. I don't know anybody else though. Yeah. I mean, the Bears are doing the Bears thing. Hopefully, their defense I don't really expect to be that good. Offense, it's literally going to be the same as last season, just more weapons, and a better offensive line. So it'll be kind of the same sort of scheme, but maybe just executed a little bit better. And then you look at the Packers, and it's just like, come on, what are we doing here? They don't have Rodgers, obviously. They don't have Lazard. Like, if the Packers get at least 6 wins, I think that'll be a good goal. Set the goal pretty below right there, just because who expects him to be good? Like, I don't know why the whole Green Bay team is not requesting for a trade, especially Jair Alexander. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. He should be like, nah, get me out of here. I mean, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna be like terrible for the next couple years. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It really is. I mean, Brad Holmes, Brad Holmes, he's an interesting type of GM. If he sees a player that he likes, he will trade for him. He does not care. If he's like, nah, I like this player, boom, trade. That's it. So it's, you just have to trust him. You really do. If you don't trust your GM, then I don't know what to tell you. Um, then he should not be the GM of your team. But if you're not trusting him just based on, you're like, oh, he's not like a top tier guy. He's not like number one in my mock drafts. I don't have him on there. Well, you know what? You know what you have to do? You just have to be like, sucks for you. Sucks for you, because Brad Holmes is that guy, and he's gonna make the best decisions for our team. And yeah, I just want him to strive. That's it. Strive. Be the best team that we can be. And I think that we're getting there right now. I mean, just look at the accusations that we've gotten. Okay, I'm gonna briefly list our team so far. Jared Goff, Monty, Gibbs, JMO, which he's suspended until week 6. JMO, I'll get into that later. I'll get into that after I'm done spitting about the Lions. You got JMO, you got Marvin Jones, you got St. Brown, you got Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds. I mean, how long do we have here? I can go on and on and on and on. Antoine Green, we just got tight ends. We just got Laporta, Bright, Mitchell. I mean, same offensive line mostly. And then when you add on defense, the DBs, you got Gardner Johnson, Mosley, Sutton, Jerry Jacobs. Got to mention Jerry Jacobs because he's getting disrespected so much. I don't understand. Okay, hold on. Let me pause right here. Jerry Jacobs is, when this team was terrible. And I'm not saying, they're great. Well, they are great now, but okay. Let me start over real quick. When this team was in the dumps and our two corners were Jerry Jacobs and AJ Parker when everybody else was hurt, Jerry Jacobs was making plays that I could not even describe. Jerry Jacobs is that guy. He's being disrespected so much right now. I just saw a tweet actually by Woodward Sports, and I like the guys at Woodward Sports. I think they're very in the loop with the Detroit sports, and it's good that we have a network like Woodward Sports to keep the conversations going about all these different type of subjects. But they mentioned all the acquisitions that we got and all the players that we have are DBs. They mentioned Tracy Walker, but the one guy that they did not mention was Jerry Jacobs. Jerry Jacobs is a stud. He's a baller. He's gonna be. That's why we still have him on the team. Why else would we not have Jerry Jacobs on the team? He is like that sort of guy. Like he reminds me a bit of like Quandre Diggs. Like, dude, if you have the ball and he's on the other side, good luck. All I have to say is good luck, because he's not letting you get by him without a fight. That's for sure. Without a fight, like he will dogpile you. He will stomp you on the ground, and he will curb stomp you. He will make sure that you are not you're not 100%. He's crazy. He will do many things to you. Lockdown corner. I don't know what else to say. And funny I mentioned this because Woodward actually made a tweet. I just mentioned this. Woodward made a tweet about all the accusation, all that queries we got, and they did not include Jerry Jacobs. I just said that. And Jerry Jacobs just tweeted, he quote tweeted and said, "Y'all hilarious at this point." Well, Woodward Sports just deleted that tweet. After Jerry Jacobs quote tweeted it and said, "Y'all hilarious at this point." So Woodward Sports got the message. Don't respect Jerry Jacobs. He was literally cornerback 1 most of the season when Okuda was hurt. When Amani was clueless and literally getting illegal contact penalties left, right, and center, just getting us flags for the most stupid things ever. Jerry Jacobs was that guy. He was. Jerry Jacobs was just that guy, and he will be that guy going forward. And obviously, when you acquire better players, and maybe he'll slip down in the depth chart a little bit. But if he proves himself, which I think he will, I think he has I feel like he has the ability to. He has the capability to, and you just can't doubt him. You really can't. But yeah, so I'm sorry, I just had to, spit that out real quick. But anyway, back to the whole Lions rant. But yeah, just talking about all the players that we've gotten. Our D line is looking pretty scary. James Houston, whew, oh man, that Jackson State dude. I don't know what Deion Sanders puts in their coffee or what he feeds them, but God, bro, he's gonna go crazy. He went crazy when he literally just got called up from the practice squad. That's why we re-signed him. Then you have Hutch. Then you have Charles Harris. Then you have Josh Pascal. Then you have Levi Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, John Kaminsky, Brad Holmes. Love it. You just love it. Because if you just have Aiden Hutchinson on there and he's getting double teamed, then who else is gonna get to the quarterback? We need somebody else. We need that James Houston type of guy to get the quarterback. Because same thing with the Rams. Like when Aaron Donald was literally just the only person, they would just double team him. That's it. And some of the times he would get through the double team and get to the quarterback anyway. But yeah. So again, a really solid draft class for the Lions. But yeah, so that is what it is. I'm gonna make another podcast talking about the schedule, because I believe next week is when they're gonna release the actual schedule, the times and everything like that. Hopefully we can get a couple primetime games. Hopefully. One can hope. But yeah, it would really just be, I don't want to say that the Lions are gonna make a Super Bowl run, but don't be surprised if the Lions somehow sneak their way into the playoffs, which I'm saying somehow because knowing the Lions, something would happen, and it's something like, I'm not even gonna say what would happen because it probably would actually happen knowing our luck. But if the Lions get going and they get hot, don't be surprised if they go crazy in the playoffs. They are a really entertaining team. Ben Johnson, really creative offensive coordinator. He's got a lot of stuff dialed up, schemed up for the season. So again, don't be surprised if we do go crazy. And now moving on to that, I just want to talk real quick about college football. I just got word today. 2 Michigan State players have recently hit the transfer portal. One being a Michigan State quarterback, Payton Thorne. He was the starter for 2 years. He has hit the transfer portal. That's crazy. I'm a Michigan fan, obviously. Go Blue. Just heard about it, but it's wild. So, yeah, he's out. And then also Michigan State star wide receiver Keon Coleman, who basically did the only wide receiver things except Jaden Reed. He was like the only other wide receiver doing stuff, especially in the Michigan State game. He was mossing people like he was Randy Moss on the Vikings. He was going crazy. He just hit the portal as well. So now Michigan State's down one of their best wide receivers, or one of their number 1 wide receivers now, and their QB1. So that's what happened. That's what's happening there. And then you just look at Michigan's class, like, man, number 1 recruited class so far for 2024. I'm gonna pull it up really quick. So at this point, it's literally just gonna be Michigan, and then I'm gonna talk about the Tigers just a little bit at the end to wrap up this podcast. But yeah, let's go to team ranks. Let's see. Michigan number 1. You love to see it. 15 commits right now. Obviously, the class is led by 2024 5-star quarterback Jaden Davis out of Providence Day in Charlotte. And then we got a 4-star tight end out of Rochester, Brady Pierscorn, and then a 4-star running back. Then you got a 4-star offensive tackle, 4-star safety, 4-star tight end again. Then you got another 4-star offensive tackle, 4-star linebacker, 4-star D lineman, 4-star offensive lineman, 4-star D lineman, and then a couple 3 stars. But man, it's good. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. That is for sure. I mean, literally the number 1 class in 2024. Who would think that? Who would think that Michigan has the number 1 class in 2024? That is Absolutely crazy. Think about it. They had the number 19 class in 2023. And in 2022, they had number 12. You look at 2021, they had 13. So it's not like it was, you know, a bad class on a couple years, but I mean this class is going to be something special. I mean you have the number one, one. Ohio State is number 2. So Ohio State's right behind them with 13 commits. Obviously they have a couple 5-stars. They got 2 5-star wide receivers on the way. But I mean, you know, Michigan's gonna go crazy. The game's still gonna be a competition. I hope. I hope we can get like some sort of competition. Hopefully Ohio State, you know, shows up and we can get a good game. If not, I'll be fine with it. You know, I'm fine with it. If they want to just let us win again, then let's do it. It's gonna be at the big house, so that'll be even more fun for us. But yeah, so love to. But yeah, so there it is with the college football. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Tigers are pretty interesting because they are bad. They're bad. Sorry, they're really bad. I don't even know what to say. It's sad. It really is. I'm just disappointed. Alavila, that's all your fault. I blame you. I don't even know. Now they have to try to figure out what to do. They have to try to clean up what Alavila did. And yeah, so I just hope the Tigers can be good. Please. Please. Just one time, please. So yeah. There's not really a lot of news with the Tigers, but I mean, don't really expect anything. Lions stuff will probably be getting kicked off soon if there's any big moves made. Hopefully, I mean, when the season starts to kick off, then that's when there'll be like those weekly episodes recapping the game, recapping, you know, the season overall, the NFL, everything. But right now there's really nothing going on. It's kind of a dead period right after the draft when they were trying to figure out the rosters, and by August finalize them, and then by the third preseason game after that, that's when the rosters have to be completely finalized, and then after that, that's when the actual season starts, that will be fun to watch the Lions. But yeah, so there you have it. There's your little there's a little rant about the Lions, a little segment about Michigan State, Michigan, and Tigers literally for 10 seconds because there's nothing on them, if I'm being honest. There's nothing on them. But yeah, so see you guys next week. Go Blue, one pride, go Lions, go Tigers, go Michigan. Let's go.